Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It started, as most scandals do, over coffee. Britain's early risers were once soothed by the gentle hum of Good Morning Britain. It was a show of chatter, charm, and the occasional controversy, just enough spice to go with your toast. But ever since Ed Balls shuffled into the studio with his unassuming grin and awkward charisma, the mornings had taken a sharp turn. It wasn't immediate. In fact, when Ed first joined, people were charmed. He's not like the others, they said. He's real. He once tweeted his own name by accident. The nation collectively chuckled. How harmless. But then came the Monday. That Monday. At 6:01 a.m., Ed Balls leaned forward in his seat, shuffled his notes like a man pretending he had something to say, and launched into a 7-minute monologue about the political symbolism of baked beans on toast. Baked beans, he mused, are the proletariat of the breakfast table, smeared over toast like the working class over policy, neglected, taken for granted. Susanna Reid blinked, frozen mid-sip of her tea. The camera operator zoomed in, unsure whether it was satire, senility, or sudden brilliance. Twitter exploded. Did Ed Balls just declare class war via breakfast food? One viewer tweeted. Is he okay? Asked another. Is Britain okay? Asked a third. It spiraled from there. By Thursday, Ed had compared the Queen's corgis to Cold War diplomacy. Friday, he performed a TikTok dance tutorial live on air to connect with the youth, injuring his hip and emotionally scarring at least 3 producers. The ratings dipped, then surged, then plummeted again. It was chaos. But chaos, as it turns out, isn't great for credibility. Viewers began to complain. "Why does GMB feel like a fever dream now?" wrote a man from Leeds. He spent 10 minutes arguing with a pigeon expert about whether birds are real. Another mother of 2 lamented, "I just want to know the weather. Instead, I got a live debate on whether jam should be taxed to fight inflation?" Ed Balls smiled through it all, blissfully unaware or brilliantly self-aware. No one could tell anymore. Behind the scenes, ITV producers were panicking. Their group chats were ablaze with messages like, "Who booked the bean monologue?" and "He's pitching a segment called Boris versus Batman. Who led better?" One brave intern asked the question aloud. Why is Ed Balls still here? The silence that followed was long. Then someone whispered, "Because we're all watching. We can't stop." He had become a spectacle. A car crash in a morning suit, a walking contradiction of political gravitas and spontaneous disco moves. And yet, he was being talked about, tweeted, memed, interviewed. Headlines screamed, "Balls to breakfast. Has GMB lost its mind?" And maybe it had. Then came the final straw. Ed Balls does the weather. He took to the green screen like a Shakespearean actor taking on Hamlet. "Here," he said, gesturing wildly over Cornwall, "we face the existential dread of light showers, much like British democracy, wet and unpredictable." He pointed at Manchester, a 70% chance of rain and a 100% chance that nobody understands our housing policies. It was oddly brilliant and absolutely mad. ITV, however, had had enough. They issued a carefully worded statement. "While we appreciate Ed's creativity, we believe Good Morning Britain should return to serving the public with clarity, consistency, and fewer interpretive dance routines." The nation exhaled. The next morning, Ed was gone, replaced by someone in a beige suit who knew not to wink at the sports reporter. But in the hearts of many, Ed Balls lived on, a man who made mornings unpredictable, confusing, and strangely unforgettable. A hero? A menace? A breakfast enigma? Britain may never agree, but one thing was clear. GMB was once again safe from the tyranny of beans.